4 of them bleeding profusely, dying on the ground.
Joe Lewis lays bleeding with 2 bullet wounds, one through his abdomen and one through his left leg.
I thought to myself, well, this could be it. And I was afraid that I was going to die. And so I made an act of contrition to say that I was sorry for my sins. And
I saw a girl being carried into the yard at Prentice Hall, and I ran over there with this rag thinking I could help someone, and I looked down and it was Sandy. Sandy was a friend, and she was so blue and gray. She'd been shot through the jugular vein, and I didn't even recognize her.
And she was killed within seconds as she walked to her class, 400 feet away from the triggerman.
I remember the first person I saw was Jeffrey Miller, and he was lying very still.
One of the first to reach Jeff Miller's body is 14-year-old runaway Mary Vecchio, who only a short time earlier had been protesting with him on the Commons.
I thought it was Alan. I mean, I'll never forget running toward the body of Jeff Miller, thinking it was Alan, and how I felt when I looked down and saw Jeff lying in this pool of blood, and there was so much blood.
And we walked over toward another cluster of people, and they were standing around Bill Schroeder.
Bill Schroeder was an ROTC military science student. He was the all-American boy. He was not a protester, not a radical, not part of the demonstration. He was just there watching. She said, "Barry, I'm hit." And I had no idea what that meant at the time. I mean, in split seconds I knew, but I didn't know. It couldn't be. It's impossible. What do you mean you're hit? As I went to stroke her cheek, I saw a smudge of blood on her cheek, and it had come from my hand, which was underneath her. So I realized at that point she had been shot in the back, and she was bleeding, and as it turns out, she was dying.
An excerpt of the documentary Kent State, The Day the War Came Home, directed by Chris Triffo and produced by Ron Getz. That was Barry Levine talking about Allison Krause, one of the 4 students killed that day.
We go now live to Kent State, where we're joined by Laurel Krause, Allison's sister. She's the director of the Kent State Truth Tribunal, which has been taking place on the campus for the last 3 days and convened by family members of students killed at Kent State in order to record and honor the stories of those directly affected by the shootings. Laurel Krause, you're right there on the campus of Kent State. Can you describe what you've been doing over these last few days, this Kent State Truth Tribunal?
Well, we've been welcoming the original participants and witnesses of the 1970 Kent State shootings. They've been coming forward, and we've been live casting as well as asking them to answer questions at laptops. We have questions that were created with the help of the Greensboro, North Carolina Tribunal related to the KKK and the killing of 5, as well as the Center for Transitional Justice. They helped us come up with questions that were neutral so that we could get to the truth of what really happened, because we don't know.
And Laurel, how old were you when your sister Allison was killed? And talk about the legal battle that your family fought for years.
Well, I was in 9th grade, coming home from school, when some neighbors came up to me and said that I should call my parents because there had been news reporters on the street and that Allison had been hurt at Kent. And so I immediately called my mom, and I learned that she was on her way home immediately. She whisked home, and we then spent a long time on the phone, she did, trying to find out, but all the phone lines were blocked. There were no cell phones or anything like that then. And we later learned that from the Ravenna Robinson Memorial Hospital that she was DOA, and that's how they said it to us. Right the next day, my father, Arthur Krause, and my mother, Doris Krause, went forward and started a legal fight to learn, actually against the state of Ohio, the governor, National Guard, and everyone responsible for what happened. And that court battle went all the way through and up to the Supreme Court in order to have the right to sue Ohio, and then back at the beginning again. Over 10 years, we finally took it to the Ninth Circuit Court, got and settled with a statement of regret, and our family received $15,000 for the related to the death of my sister, Allison.
Laurel, what are you calling for now?
Well, actually, I'm calling for the truth to be known for the first time. It's my feeling and the feeling of everyone that's joining us in our Truth Tribe, that's what we're calling it. Basically, we want to hear from the people that were on that hill, because we know that they know what happened. And that includes National Guard, state, federal, and civil people, civil servants related to making decisions, bad decisions. We'd like to hear their stories as well. I'm personally calling for any National Guardsmen to please come forward in our final day, May 4th. Please come and share your truth. You'll be respected. We want to hear your truth. You can have anonymity. We have a wonderful setup. It's a healing environment. We'd like you to share your truth and let us know what happened and what made you pull that trigger and kill my sister and 3 others and wounding of 9 on May 4th, 1970.
Laurel Krause, I want to thank you very much for being with us, standing in the parking lot where her sister was killed 40 years ago today. Allison Krause, that does it for the show. I'm Amy Goodman with Sharif Adokadoos. Happy birthday, Dennis Moynihan.